And we're live with the Waiting Room Up podcast. Welcome, Weish. Thank
Hi,
you
thanks
very
for
much.
having me.
Welcome.
Weish from DOTGIF. DOTGIF, you get it right.
That's, you know,
DOTGIF. Straight away, I
it's
got
up
it
to
wrong.
you, man.
Straight away, I
It's
got it
all
wrong.
good.
No, it's your
That's
bad. You
just
tell me.
Derek. That's just Derek.
It's just me.
That's just Derek, yeah.
So, Weish, tell us about working in a zoo.
Tell you about working at the zoo.
Yeah.
How
tell us
did
about
you
working-
know that about
I
me?
did some
That's a-
research.
That's a great first question. It's like from a past life. I was like, did I hear you wrong or amazing?
No.
Oh.
I seen a 2014 interview from you today, like from
Oh
where you
damn,
in
I don't even
Malaysia.
You
You
saying
was in
it.
Malaysia, yeah. You said you used to work in a zoo, so I was going right. I have to interject this into the podcast. This is
Perfect. I love talking about the zoo.
Well, tell us about the zoo then.
Sure. Where do I begin? It was sort of a part-time gig while I was in uni, and then I was just kind of earning money on the side lah, to pay to go to gigs and buy beer at gigs kind of situation. I was at the zoo almost 2 years, part-time, but that was like almost every day or every other day of the week.
Sure.
Like you're in before the break of dawn, you spend the first couple of hours shoveling some shit. And then
literally
shit. Do you know when pygmy hippos poop, they have the self-cleaning thing where the brush of their tail kind of just constantly like just wipes their ass as they go, so they're very clean.
Okay.
But the rest of their environment is just awful. So when you go in the morning, it's like woo, literally like shit hit the fan.
Way to start my morning.
Thankfully I wasn't the hippo keeper, so I didn't have to deal with that.
What did you work? What did you work in?
Actually, I was a show presenter, so I was the dude who went around with a microphone, and when the big auditorium shows weren't going on, I was the person with like a little mic and a little amp, sort of going around, be like, "Everybody, come here! The baboons are being fed now. Hi, child, you want to throw banana? Come here." And then I'll remember every monkey's name. I'll know exactly which family of monkeys and their mother, the father, the child. Memorizing
How many monkeys
like
are we talking about roughly?
Spider monkeys, orangutans, the gibbons, all kinds of apes and primates, and I remembered all their names and all their facts. Like this was a lifetime ago, so I don't remember them now. But what they
Do the
eat.
animals work on shift? Do the animals work on shift?
The show animals do actually. So all the other regular animals are just chilling, right? And then once in a while the fella comes and they're being fed, and then they have to eat in front of everyone because everyone wants to watch them eat. People want to throw in the food. But the show animals are the ones that have been trained to for the shows. So there's a rainforest show where you have like tropical animals come, and I had like lemurs jump on me and eat a banana from behind my ear.
Oh, man.
And I had a frozen pack of cockroaches in my pocket, so that as they are thawing and it's time for the ducks to come out halfway through the show, like it's part of a story, right, for kids, then you hope that it doesn't thaw too quickly. You scatter the frozen cockroaches on the floor so the ducks will come out on cue, and it was great. It was a horribly dirty job, but it was amazing. Like I enjoyed.
Was they imported from JB? The cockroaches.
And learning about humane ways as well. Yeah.
If the cockroaches thaw,
Dude,
did they come back to life?
Oh yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
God
They
damn
just
kind of-
evil.
I just watched this documentary and it focused, at one point of it, it focused on these frogs who lived in the northern side of the world.
That,
And what happens is throughout winter or the length of how cold it is, they have certain chemicals in their body that prevent their insides from freezing up. Their outsides
Whoa.
do. And then when the sun comes up and they thaw, they are just back to life again, man.
Isn't that?
Since we're talking about
Is that how
about frozen animals, you know that the microwave was created to thaw hamsters. Was created
Hold up.
in labs.
The
was a humane way to thaw to thaw frozen hamsters they were using in labs, apparently. So that's how microwaves work.
Hold up. I really need to look that up right now.
Yeah. Because I've seen documentaries on the invention of microwave before, and there was nothing about hamsters in it.
No, check it out. This is I just saw this.
It was these physicists and their food got cooked when they didn't want it to get cooked because they were beside a machine that was pumping out radiation. I don't know about this, Asmal. You're suspect.
No, but I just saw that, man. You saw it a while back. This is fresh information.
Fresh information.
Fresh. The freshest, the most reliable.
So
wishes is the most natural.
Yeah.
Just
so essentially,
throw on the floor.
essentially working the zoo, you were doing performance anyway. You were performing for an audience.
Kind of, yeah. And it was great because like we were all friends and we were all kind of playing pranks on each other, right? And I'd have a little earpiece where I could hear what all the keepers and their animals that were about to be released onto stage with me were telling me there. So I'd have to be like, look, kids, and then the eagle or the cockatoo comes flying or whatever, right? And then in my ear would just be a keeper being like, sorry, man, today Pinky not flying, think of something. Hey, today the fella not feeling it, he's not flying to your arm, just do something else. I'm like, okay, never mind. Like it was just chaos. It was really fun. And learning about like how to train and work with animals in humane ways and like questioning some of especially the elephant show that was eventually discontinued because it was actually quite cruel to some people.
I went to the elephant sanctuary here in Malaysia, and it was literally one of the most depressing things I've ever been to because you can see it in their eyes. You can see the pain and sadness in the elephant's eyes, and my wife's friends, they came over from Ireland, and we'll go to the elephant sanctuary, and went there, and I was just like going. I was just depressed afterwards. I just need to get away from this. It's awful because you can just see it. Because they had them walking around and doing tricks, and then people were getting to wash them and stuff like that there. And these animals, they don't want it. They just do not want to be part of this at all. Like you can see the pain in their eyes. It's just horrible.
It's
horrible.
With your time working in the zoo, was it apparent to you, not just with elephants, but with the other animals as well, that did it seem like they didn't realize where they were or what they were doing, or this wasn't the natural way?
I only actually really felt it with the elephants because the rest of the animals, it was like a reward system, right? It's like, I want you to appear here and there's like banana or there's like cockroach or there's mealworms and they're just kind of following the food and nobody's getting hurt and nobody's doing anything unnatural. With the orangutans, I felt like the orangutans and their keepers had a really strong relationship. Like I'd watch in the morning, I just watch this badass orang keeper just coming in like, Satria, fetch my coffee. And the fella, like the orangutan just be like, top of the morning to you, sir. And like, like go grab his coffee, grab his newspaper, like a friend. And they would sit together and just chill. And I felt like that felt like a genuine relation. They're very loving towards each other, even though they had to like go out and mingle with kids. I don't know how comfortable they were, but it seemed chill.
Yeah.
The elephants were the only ones that had like slight, I guess some punitive, because the mahouts, when they're riding them, they have small spikes on the side of their feet.
They make them go left or right.
But when I questioned it, they were like, "Oh, their hides are so thick that it just feels like this." But I don't know. They did have a relationship, though. I did feel like there was love, and the mahouts treated them with a lot of respect.
Is it kind of like a Stockholm syndrome type relationship, or that sort of thing going on, like where it's like, like what I seen in like. Even though it's an elephant sanctuary in Malaysia, like you can just see that they're not happy. You can see not an animal who's not happy where it is. Like even though they're getting fed, they don't have to worry about food and stuff like that there. And the people who are watching obviously care for the elephants, but like you can just see the pain in their eyes.
Just look at us in lockdown, man. Are you happy in lockdown?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And If some happy little fucker decided to ride my back all day, I'd be very fucking upset about it.
Yeah, on top of being locked down, man, you're like, come on now, somebody's gonna sit on your back.
Turn left.
Turn left.
Face American tourist all day, fucking being all.
Yeah, walk on this log, break this coconut.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh god. But anyway, so what
So,
was your
but you were there for a couple of years only.
Yeah, I actually didn't plan to stay that long. It was like I was waiting around for like college to start, and then I nothing better to do lah for like 8-ish months. But then when school started, I was still like, this is damn fun lah.
Seemed like a fun, good job, like.
Yeah, and everyone was really fun. It was really fun, like unpredictable, chaotic place to work. Yeah, and just surrounded by animals. Yeah? The Singapore Zoo.
Oh, okay.
And the day zoo, not the night safari.
And your favorite animal?
Oof, difficult. I think this is kind of like the most boring answer, but I think it's the orangutans because they're so human, and they've got, you really get to see moments of tenderness between themselves and between them and their keepers. Yeah. It's really quite lovely. Yeah.
Well, it's a natural instinct of humans to see human behavior in animals, so there's a more natural affinity to animals that sort of you think are more behaving like us. And there is no, and chimpanzees and orang and gorillas they're as close to us as any other creature's ever going to be like. So like, you're going to get that natural bond with them.
Yes, so close. Yeah, some of them are probably smarter than us.
True that.
Especially our politicians.
Yeah,
Whoa. All right.
Yeah. I'm including all our politicians, Irish politicians, every politician, like.
Every politician.
Yeah.
That's the general P.
So we got a zoo.
Just call the primates in to save us, yeah.
A zoo's probably better behaved than the fucking zoo does a fucking anybody's parliament in the world, like. So
probably.
So what did you study at university?
Lit, like English literature and
English
linguistics.
Lit? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh god. Chomsky then?
Yeah, yeah. Bit of both. My minor was in linguistics.
Okay.
So it's mostly lit. Nice. Yeah. Just the basics.
Okay,
not that much.
I remember seeing one of your videos on YouTube, and I think one of your students commented, she's my lit teacher.
They're everywhere.
Go. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh man.
So who's your favorite author then of English lit?
Oh, that's hard. Unpopular, but Samuel Beckett, Pinter.
Cool.
The absurdists, the weirdos. Yeah.
They sort of lead into your some of your works, right? You did something at the Singapore Fest and stuff, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, thanks, guys. That's sweet. Yeah, I think it subconsciously just bleeds into how I write things in kind of a weird way.
I think it's funny. Like my favorite author's Hunter Thompson, so like it kind of weaves into how I look at life as well. Like
absolutely.
So
was this something you always wanted to do?
Sorry?
Was English lit something you always wanted to do, or something you discovered along the way?
Okay, like full this like honest answer was I just wanted the scholarship. I didn't.
That's the way.
All right.
I didn't know what the heck to do with my life, right? And I knew that like, I want to study something extremely impractical like lit. Where I would know what kind of a job to get. But no, I've always loved fiction and stories and the power of stories and just getting lost in them. And it just felt like an extension of a fantasy to be able to study it. Like just not grow up and just study books. And so it just so happened that if I were to get some help to get through school fees, then I would have to serve a bond to teach, which is why I ended up teaching for a few years.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What university in Singapore?
National University.
Or NUS?
NUS, yeah.
Which has got a fantastic archaeology program, which like that's what I did at university, archaeology.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, NUS has got a very, very, very good archaeology program, which is
Damn,
weird.
I didn't know that.
Which is weird considering Singapore has managed to pavement over all their archaeology. Like it's
exactly
so
what I was about
weird.
to say. Like,
I mean,
huh?
NUS is top 10 in the world for the
Holy shit!
But they've got,
wow.
but NUS deals with all of the South Pacific. All South Pacific, Java, the whole way down towards
Are they the
Australia.
main?
They're the main for if you want to understand like the human hobbit or any of the cultures, the Orang Asli and stuff like that. NUS is the place to do it. Because they've got the.
I mean, NUS is number one in the region, man. I mean, the humanities.
For the archaeology programs, they're brilliant. But it's still, we always laughed because it's so ironic because when I was coming here, because I've got a master's, and I was thinking about doing a PhD in Malaysia when I was coming to move because my wife's local, and I was looking at either Penang, which is USM in Penang, or NUS. And NUS was by far the better program, but it was just so ironic because they don't protect their archaeology at all. And in Ireland we're so protective of our archaeology. I mean, to a kind of psychotic point of view, like where you'll get arrested if you even try to fuck about with Irish archaeology. But there's no.
But you got to give credit to Singapore and NUS though. I mean, you're good with archive. The archive is amazing.
Oh, they are. They're as I said,
as academic.
The people who run their courses are as good as you can get. They're the best of the best.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate.
Of course, it gets contentious when it goes to history, then like, oh, this is Singaporean, this is Malaysian, you know. But it's interesting. But
which makes me laugh because it's all Orang Asli. It's all Orang Asli until about 600 years ago. The previous 40,000 years was all Orang Asli. So
yeah, exactly.
So. That's what I always
the great irony of that, like almost all of Singapore literature is about erasure and how we have no history and how we pave over everything with concrete every 5 years. That's all our poets talk about, you know.
That's kind of the ultimate. That's kind of the ultimate of ethno-nationalism, where it's literally you're paving over your history.
Singapore universities, NUS and the archives, like Malaysia. A lot of independence photos, there's the Tunku Abdul Rahman doing the Merdeka, and there's only one angle of the photo if you see Malaysia.
Yeah, I've only ever seen one angle.
Yeah, because the rest of the photos are in Singapore, and keep it there. If you keep it here, they just rot in some store. So please don't bring. Malaysia is lousy at that. We take things for granted. We don't archive anything.
Then we just steal all your shit.
just keep it there. Keep it there. You know, one day you can sell it back to us.
Maybe it's safer that way. It's safer than y'all steal everything.
That can be the way. We're like I'm not a huge fan of like the British Museum's fucking theory on the Elgin marbles being safer in the British Museum rather than being back in Greece, which I think is nonsense. That's the argument. That's the argument a lot of European and Western museums have for keeping all our people's shit. But there are some places where especially of recently where Western museums got a lot of the stuff out of Iraq before ISIS took over, and ISIS were just wanting to blow up any history at all. So there's an argument in that way of conservation. If you're going to conserve it, then it might be safer in another place like Asmil says, keep it down there. It's probably in a better place. The Malaysians will try to sell it off to somebody.
That's so true.
But it's true. It's
they're known to be
true.
Pirates of Southeast Asia.
Yeah, it's just,
in all shapes and sizes.
It was just like last year or the year before that something like Nefertiti went home to Egypt for the first time in forever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, please go home.
But So what was the English department in NUS was good?
Oh yeah, I would say so. It's really, really diverse. Professors with different areas of specialization. So like anything you wanted to do, you had someone who had you covered. I felt, at least from my own limited range of interests. Yeah.
Nice.
Are you still teaching?
No, I've been music full time since February 2018, which seems like yesterday.
Wow.
But it's actually fucking 3 years ago. Holy shit. Yeah.
All right, let's get into the music and how DOTGIF
GIF.
Yeah. Oh man, I was
It's
even,
funny, right?
unsure when I was about to say that.
I like the dramatic pause in the middle. No, it's funny, right? Because we fight about it too, and we're like, but it's graphics, not graphics.
That's
But then
true.
That is the argument.
that is the argument. But also, in some kind of blanket statement, the actual person who invented the file type came out to say, like, guys, it's GIF. So we're like, okay.
All right.
So the boss has spoken.
That'll be the title of this episode. It's GIF, not GIF.
Yeah.
It's cool.
All right.
But you know, like, say whatever you want.
All right, let's get into that. Let's get into how you got into music and whether
The whole
it was
journey,
by
yeah.
yourself first, and did DOTGIF come across later, or take it away. Let's go.
Oh, sure. Well, first off, apologies on behalf of Din. He's stuck in reservist. Haha.
What is he in
Serving
reservist?
the
Oh,
army. So he
Oh,
couldn't make
hold
it
on.
today.
How old is he? Don't you just have to do a 1 year thing or something like that there?
Oh, you gotta
No, it's
come
2
back,
years,
man.
I think.
Reservist, right?
It
Reservist
happens
right?
every year till you're like, I don't know, 40 or some shit.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
My
great.
Unless they
Singaporeans,
forget about you.
I remember Jeremy telling me about that. Yeah, saying like, reservist.
Yeah, Jeremy still got to go, I think.
Yeah.
What am I not understanding here?
Well,
This,
it's kind of like
national service
It's
thing
national
happens
service.
Sort of like
every
national
year
service, is it?
until you're 40, is it?
Something like that. It's like after your actual 2 years of army, of
It's
NS.
not like Malaysia National Service, Brendan. Malaysia National Service is lame lah.
It's lame.
That's
And
why
I
also
went
lame
for it,
lah.
and it was lame.
No. Nobody
go one
thinks it's
time, done
cool
already.
here. Yeah, no.
I thought you're just like in Singapore, you're just done with 2 years and then you're done. I didn't know it continues.
Well, sometimes the system forgets about you, and a lucky few of my friends are like, "Oh, they forgot about me. They haven't called me in 8 years." But then, for
Don't
most
remind
people,
them
they
lah.
get don't remind them. For most people, they get called up every year. It's kind of like refresh your skills, make sure you're always war ready or whatever. Fuck.
And
you
how
know.
long is this for?
Yeah, for I think something like 10 cycles, something like that.
As in, and each
They'll-
cycle is how many months? Or...
In a year, they can call you one time. This is like what I think from how
okay.
my guy friends talk about it. I usually tune out. So
This is
All
pure.
right.
This is pure female privilege because you've never had to do it. You have no idea what's going on.
Oh, it's
Disgusting.
only for males.
Yeah, it's disgusting. 2021, female privilege, ridiculous.
Okay, let's
I'm just
close
masking-
that.
masking
All
it.
right. Back to the music. Let's go.
Sorry.
All right, let's go. Music
And
adventures. Let's go.
Adventures. Okay. Well, I guess it began in uni. I was quite enterprising at the time. Besides going to the zoo, I was trying to make money on the side. And so actually I was singing in like cafes with a ukulele for like peanuts, right? For whatever anyone wanted to pay me.
Yeah.
At bars or whatever for a little while. And then at school I met some of the guys who now form Sub Shaman with me. My prog rock band, and I met some DJs. I met a bunch of people from like other bands like Pleasantry, ATC, Friends of Friends. Everybody congregate at the Smoking Corner, and like you meet the whole scene at the Smoking Corner, right? It's just how the way it works. And then I met Din, who was at the time DJing, like he was kind of DJing on the side, and so. How did it begin? I was helping someone. There's this singer-songwriter who's, I guess, a generation apart from me. I hope he never sees this and thinks I'm calling him old. But he used to run an open mic at a place called the Pigeonhole, which was like a library, cafe, arts kind of space where people went to read and drink beer.
I played twice there. That's why I met Jeremy.
Hey, damn! Pigeonhole, yeah.
Yeah.
A lifetime ago, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean it's shut its doors for a
Down,
long time now. Yeah, this was maybe 2012, 2013. So I was running the open mics, and generally they were going well. I met so many bands that came through our doors, but some nights we would just be like, holy crap, someone pulled out. Or, oh no, we didn't have any signups for the 9:30 to 10 slot, and then I would just play lah. And then, I was like, I don't want to, be a wanker and like play at my own host, and so I was like, then you come and like chicky a bit and like play something lah. And so it's kind of by accident that we got together. He had his first MIDI controller or something, and then I got my first vocal looper for my birthday from a bunch of friends, and we just sort of put our gear together and see what happens kind of situation. That's where we played like our first song together, Diatribe, for the first time. And then, I don't know, it just kind of grew from there. People like, hey, just see where this goes lah, and the response was pretty fun. So then people started wanting us to play shows. We're like, hey, how kind of thing. We need a set. Then it just kind of grew from there.
Did you ever do covers?
Very organic, very organic for something electronic.
Yeah,
it's like anyhow whack, yeah.
It was sort of natural evolution for an electronic band, which is unusual.
I guess, yeah. I think it was just testament to whatever gear we had. Like all I could do with a looper is loop harmonies over his beats, right? And back then there was no like metronome, so it was like every 8 bars with Larry must jam and like click again, It was
Loopers.
like
So was it original music from day one? You never did covers or anything like that. It was just original stuff from day one.
Pretty much. I think when I was playing the uke or the guitar, sometimes I would throw in a cover here and there, but it was mostly
that's standard if you're just doing it like acoustic music. Like, but for a band to never really done covers is quite unusual. But it's nice, like because original music is just the way to go. Like, so we all know that. I think.
Yeah.
I hope.
It's nice.
Well, was your singing style similar when you're playing the uke, and did it change because you had a different sort of canvas to play on?
I don't think so. I think I only have one tone of voice. I don't have the versatility I wish I had.
It's quite. We need to talk about your tone of voice because, like,
I don't know. Second part. I think there's a lot to go into that.
Yeah,
I think we have refrained a lot from getting into your voice technique and ability.
Because I don't know if you remember, but I mixed you when you guys came up and played KL at the festival. Was it Urbanscapes?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mixed you.
Urbanscapes.
And Brendan was there. And me and him.
I was
Brendan was
manager.
assistant. He was my
yes,
stage.
and he was. I remember that.
I was mixing, and me and him just stood there for your set, going. We looked at each other, and went, "Holy fuck! What a voice!" So
thank you.
Part two, we'll get into your voice.
Yeah,
we'll have to get into your voice because
we'll definitely get to that.
Needs discussed.
And anybody who was on that stage that night, with no offense to them and their work, but what DOTGIF did that night was
with
just
two people.
Oh my God, man! Like everybody else was great as well in what they were doing, but man, you guys, the two of you, just our jaws were on the floor. We were just like, what is going on this stage? Like.
Damn,
fucking amazing, man! What was
like you have no idea because we had never heard you. We had no idea what because that week, that whole week I had total mixed about 46 bands, including bands from America and stuff like that there on the main stage and stuff like that there. And you guys stood out like a fucking massive sore thumb of amazing. Like, I mean, it was one of the. It was, you get the spine tingle and chills up your spine when you see something that you just not expecting, it blows you completely away. We were like, me and Brendan were just looking and going like,
yeah. I still remember, I still have visual and audible.
Well, you got two groupies here right away, Weish.
Yeah. Hardcore, no joke.
Absolutely. No embarrassment about it, like absolute groupies.
Yeah, man.
Absolute
Like,
groupies.
You guys were
Thank
like,
you.
What year was this?
Listen. When people ask me who did you get the mix, I get to say, I mixed DOTGIF.
What year was this?
That's a huge honor. Like, I
2019.
never thought.
It was Urbanscapes 2019, and it was
Was
down.
it?
Where was this at? At the
was-
B?
No, it was down in the. It was down in one of the old. Brendan, where was-
you know where
Urbanscape House,
Viv-
is it?
Where no, not
Urban
where.
Seni.
It was down near the one of the Catholic churches
Where-
down in
I think
Yeah,
where
yeah,
Viv,
yeah, yeah,
where
that's right.
The
Oh, it's a
lowdown.
church, Nice.
What's it
Wow.
called? The lowdown or something?
Yes. Yeah, the
it was,
lowdown.
yeah. It was an
The
old
lowdown. Viv
old
Adram.
old building.
Wow.
But it was
Oh,
great.
man, yeah,
It was a
with
great
the
place to
music,
play.
yeah.
It was a great venue to have it in, like. But oh yeah,
Yeah, we'll get into that in the second
we'll get
half.
into it. We'll get into the voice
Yeah.
after. So I think this is the perfect time now to take our first break, before before me and Brendan's turning completely fucking
Yeah,
fanboys.
It's very, very sweet. Thank you. And I had no idea.
Oh,
Yeah,
look.
thanks.
There's a reason. There's a reason we got you on the podcast. we didn't just think out of the blue. You know who should we get? Any Singaporean
Yeah,
bands.
DOTGIF.
There's
No,
a reason
like,
why we
oh
want you
my
on the
God,
podcast.
DOTGIF right now.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry. We missed your message for so long.
It's okay.
It just
Don't worry
gets
about
stuck
it.
in the limbo inbox.
It's really funny because like I sent him a message on on Instagram.
Because
you want to appear
I
on our
gotten
podcast?
the-
Yeah, Brendan got the cliff notes of this story.
um,
And like me being the fucking blunt Irish prick that I am, I didn't get
You were
anything.
fine.
Didn't get anything for two weeks, so I sent him another message going, "Thanks for the reply, I really appreciate it." And instantly when I sent that, they go, "I'm really sorry, yes, we'd love to appear in your podcast." I was going, I go, "Don't worry about it. I understand. Don't worry about it." But it's just me being Irish. Like it's just.
No.
very
Why were
blunt.
you cursing?
I don't know. No, I was very polite. I didn't curse. I didn't curse. I didn't curse. I just went, thanks for the reply, because there was no reply. I went, "Thanks for the reply. I really appreciate it." Like, and it was just pure blunt sarcasm, like. And then within a minute, it was reply from.
Was
Wish
it a
to-
minute?
I
That's
went out literally about a minute.
serendipity.
It was about because like I was in the gym and I just like, "Thanks for the reply." And after my next set, I looked, "Oh, replied already." And I just started laughing. I go, "Okay, we've got them on the podcast. It's great. Thank you."
No, that's where I think Malaysians can learn from that. You know, when you send message, nobody replies, you just gotta say back.
Yeah.
Just try again.
Just be Irish about the
Yeah.
whole thing. Anyway, right? Okay.
Persistence is
So
key.
10-minute break and we'll get back in. We'll try just using the same
Link.
link. If it
Yeah, I
fails,
think
if it fails, message me and I'll just send you a new one. Okay?
Are we live, by the way? Are people
No,
tuning
no,
in
no,
right
no,
now?
no,
No,
Okay,
no,
okay.
it's
No, we
recorded.
record,
It
we
will
we
go
record
live
it. It's always
next week.
next week. We're not that stupid
Okay. All right. just check.
yet.
Yeah.
We're not,
And
yet.
also, if at any point you say anything that you'd like to
Take
remove
out.
later on,
You don't want that zoo part, you know. You
we
can,
will.
That's
do
cool.
that. Yeah.
Ironically, I'll be editing out this part of telling you that you can edit out the part because we don't
Oh,
want
yeah,
people.
sorry.
We don't want
Sorry.
we don't want people to know that we can edit out the part. So that's a whole big
sorry.
bag of irony there. Like so, all right. So guys, 10
Let's
minutes.
stop it now so it's easy.
And we're back with part 2 with the DOTGIF
Alright.
podcast. Welcome back, Weish. No awkward silence is going on there. Thank you for staying with us.
Yep.
Alrighty.
So now to kick in, maybe make you slightly uncomfortable, but we have to talk about your voice, which is hugely and highly unique. Oh my God!
Oh my god.
I remember first time I saw your performance was on the weekend. I think you were here back in
The
2014.
weekend.
That's the interview I seen earlier on from 2014, which I got the zoo reference. I went ah. So
Blown away by
those
that.
were good times, man. Yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
7 years ago.
The old world, the old world.
The whole world. Yeah, dude. It seems like a lifetime ago. Yeah. Oh, that space. Was it 5 star?
Five arts.
Five
Five
arts.
arts.
Sorry, why did I say star?
Still
Yeah.
5-star.
5-star. 5-star is my review of this. Such good vibes, man. That whole thing.
Nice. It's a great performance, man.
Thanks.
So you were saying earlier on, even when you were doing when you were playing ukulele, your voice has always been your voice. You didn't change it at all for the electronic band DOTGIF compared to being an acoustic ukulele kind of folky artist prior to that. Like, so like,
yeah, I don't think I knew or know how. You know.
okay.
Yeah.
My the only question I've had in my head, like I don't know, like you can tell me that's like nonsense, but like the only reference point I could get for your voice because of similarities is Bjork. Is she an influence?
I started getting that a lot, and I was kind of an uncool teen, and so like I was still kind of in my
Weren't we all?
Britpop kind of. I was still, and lots of people started telling me that I sounded like Björk, and that's when I went to check her out, and I was like, I see it, I see it, and she's fucking cool, and then I got into Björk after.
That's good because it's sort of like it's like the metal band Coheed and Cambria, if you know Coheed and Cambria, who sound unbelievably like Rush, but never heard of Rush until they were 3 albums in. When everybody was telling them you sound like fucking Rush, and Coheed and Cambria like, who are Rush? We never listened to Rush, and then we can see the similarities now. Like, but anybody else anybody else who had listened to Coheed from day one were going like they have listened to Rush, they had listened to it because it's very similar music, like.
Yeah.
So, but that's cool. That's a cool thing where you had no idea. It just the link was there without you ever hearing Bjork originally. Like, so your voice was, but your voice is quite. It sounds like Bjork, but only because, and the only way I can, it's there's an ethereal quality. It's almost there's an ethereal quality of both Bjork and your voices that make you completely unique when it comes to normal female vocalists, who are always classically trained female vocalists who do the usual female vocalist sort of thing, like, which we all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But your voice and storytelling style in your songs remind me of Beth Gibbons a bit. I don't know if that was.
Oh damn! Big compliment. Thank you.
Well, Beth seems to have a lot of influence in the female, like, because Beth is there with kind of Freya as well. There's a bit of Beth and Freya, and there's a bit of Beth and what do you call her again? I used to mix her as well. Brendan, help me. Rosella.
Was it Rosella?
Yeah, Rosella. Yeah. Beth Gibbons is there and Rosella as well. So the Portishead seems to be there.
Well, was she somebody you were listening to?
I have to say, between Freya and Rosella and Weish, like, I only have that performance at Urbanscapes as my reference, as a live reference, and I've seen Freya and Rosella do live multiple times. But another question I wanted to ask was, when you first started using your voice as the instrument that it is, did you always, I mean, I'm sure there was a growth to when you first started with the uke to when you formed yourself better with DOTGIF. How vast was that change, and did you notice how vast that change was, and were you conscious about going in that direction, or was it something that just kind of happened?
I think I'm generally not very conscious of things, but I think it was natural in that, if as a kid, all I wanted was a band, right? And to find people that could play in my band, and if all I had was a tiny acoustic instrument, then naturally I was, I guess, singing at a certain register or energy level. But then being enabled by like a full band, or with my first looper being able to like do my shitty beatboxing with and like layering of bass parts or harmony parts or riffs with my mouth. And I think it was the looper that really pushed me to exploring different tones or like ways of using my mouth in the ways that it can be shaped and resonate in different ways, because I was trying to achieve some kind of soundscape because I didn't have a band. Like I think it was that.
That's the perfect thing. You've made your vocals a soundscape. It's not like it isn't like a traditional vocalist where you're just singing words. You made it an instrument as part of as an essential part of the music as what Din is doing. Like it's completely as essential. Like, whether you can, there's loads of bands where if you took away the singer and the music just played, it still would work. Like, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
For you guys, like, your vocal is essential to that music. So
there are also a lot of loopers who do the loop thing.
See that T-shirt he's wearing? He's one of the worst ones.
Yeah. You know,
I don't think I've seen Ed Sheeran's loopy stuff. Does he like loop his guitar?
Loopy.
no,
He loops everything. He loops everything.
He does the beatbox and stuff, but I won't say that he does soundscaping.
No, it's not soundscaping.
No.
He's just trying to. He
until
tries to
today,
create a
like,
band.
he does he still is the only one man show that's obviously commercialized. But when this is one thing about, not only it's your vocal looper, because you know, the same way your voice is your instrument. I believe not many vocalists use it, myself included, don't use it to its full potential or experiment enough to use it to its full potential. And I apologize for keep going back to the Urbanscapes reference, but I remember watching that performance going, okay, she's looping, and everything you kept adding onto it, it was the
intelligent use of effects, like reverbs and delays, like which Freya does as well. Freya does as well. Like, it's knowing not only what your voice can do, but what will complement your voice.
Correct. And where to place it.
And where to place it, like.
And so when you mentioned soundscaping just now, I was like, yeah, that is what you did with .GIF, because like Derek said, Freya does the same thing, but her style is very different. Her influences are also very different. And what you did was like, I just kept thinking, man, and then you're saying the weird sounds you're doing with your mouth, right? I can still remember you doing those like monkey sounds. I don't know what you were doing, and that's what was. Not one point did I feel like anything wasn't in the right place. Like everything.
You're playful, lah. I mean, I think that's important. That's another thing. You know, it's
and
cool.
It just painted, and by the end of that one song or any song, there was always a bigger picture that was painted from when it started.
It's a mix that I didn't have to mix. I just set
and
the
that's
level.
So kind of you
just
to say.
Set the level and sat back and just went, I don't have to struggle here. They know what they're doing on fucking stage.
They know what they're doing.
Just for that mix, it was just make them nice and clear, give them a blank canvas, and let them fucking work. Because I'll just ruin it if I try to fucking impose my fucking idea of what a mix should be on this. Just let it go. So I just stood there with Brendan. And we just looked at each other going, fucking hell. And
fanboying.
Essentially, just.
I love that you notice the little things. It means so much. That's really, really nice.
But there's the little things that matter, especially in music. That when it comes to just a two-piece band that needed to fill a room.
Yeah.
It's the little things
so
that
many
really matter.
Yeah.
No, but that's why I think that your music is, one word I would put it, is cinematic, lah. You know, it is. There's a certain time and space that it brings you to, and I saw your YouTubes with your music videos, and some of it I think it is complements that sort of.
Correct.
It's a world. We're creating the story worlds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think is, and I suppose that's where your literary sort of background comes in. Maybe I don't know to what degree, but it's fantastic, lah. It's not.
There's definitely some Pink Floyd in there, early Pink Floyd, 70s Pink Floyd in there.
Ooh.
Oh,
So-
I'm
yeah.
loving all these references you guys are throwing out. I'm like all up my alley.
Certainly with some of your videos as well. There's certainly some Floyd in the videos. Things are going on like as well. Like so.
Let's.
Awesome.
I'd like to speak about Din a bit
Yes.
more and ask about Din.
Since we just fanboyed all over Wish's voices for the last.
Time to fanboy on the other half.
I've done ever watched this. He's gonna be like going, "What the fuck?"
Like, yeah, this guy's not talking about me at all.
No, he's chill. But yeah, let's.
Yeah. So you take it away. Let us know. I mean, we know you met randomly at the smoking corner, but let's speak about your experience with him working and his contribution to DOTGIF as well.
Yeah.
How do you guys collaborate? How do you start a song? Let's say.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to ask. Yeah.
Cool. We always joke about this that we can't work side by side, and we discovered this when we sort of opened our own little studio a few years back. And we realized that because we always work remotely, like you have your software, I have my software, we have a shared Dropbox, and we'll just got idea, just spam, and then I'll trawl through your ideas and pick out the ones I like, and then add my layers, and then send it back, and it'll sort of ping pong online in that way. And so we've always kind of worked remotely, even from the same country. When we finally got our studio together, we're like, okay, let's try writing a song together side by side, and we just kept fighting. And that's because Din is someone who really gets to the bottom of things. Like when he learns things, he learns properly, you know, and he'll no shortcuts, and he'll like if he's got Ableton, he will learn every corner of it and know every single function it can do, and really explore the technical side of it, and then play with what he's discovered, you know. But for me, it's always like, hey, I have a sound in my head, I want to make this sound, and I'll just find the fastest way, even if it's salah or like a really stupid way, or like there's a much more efficient way, but I just sort of like tikam find my way there. And like, you know, and when Din watches me work, it drives him crazy, because he's like, why didn't you just open this and turn that knob and do that, like simple? And I'm like, oh, I've always done it like this. He's like, what are you doing?
Then the sound engineer then the sound engineer, because like he's looking at things like a sound engineer.
For sure. Yeah. Definitely. And I when I do solo stuff on my own, I'm just like constantly texting, like, how you do this, huh? How you do that, huh? It's like, can you just, you know? And he's completely self-taught, but he knows how to do literally anything. And so much of what we do would just not happen without him.
He's so calm on stage. He's almost dead. He's just sitting there, and he just knows what he needs to do at every moment. Everything's planned out, and he's just relaxed, and just and he just lets you do what you do, and he's just like, okay, I'm grand.
Yeah. He's so good at it that like I got to share this story. That it was Festa Raya, a festival in Singapore for at the Esplanade, and we were collaborating with Vernopian Solitude on like a Raya set. Nice. We all in like baju kurung, and we did a song together. And then during soundcheck, a calamity happened and water spilled on Din's laptop. And we were like, oh shit, we depend on that thing. That's the heartbeat of everything. So we just made sure to do our line checks again. Everything was fine. And we're like, okay, seems fine. And then when the show came on, lights, audience, he looked at me, he was like, nope, the whole thing's dead. Like, you know, it's dead. Like, you're on your own. And so I'm like, what the? It's a DOTGIF set. And I have one looper. I didn't even have a keyboard, I think. So I was like, I just have myself, and how, you know. And so it was very obvious to me that, so I started building beats and like just doing DOTGIF songs with like my shitty beatbox and like
just
my approximate, just on the fly. Like I just started like, okay, show gotta happen. So I was like, okay, what's the first song? I'm just gonna try. I've never rehearsed this before. I'm just gonna try building the set from my looper. And the whole time Din like joget, relax, like you say, he looks like nothing. He looks so calm, right? And I was trying to like signal to the sound guys like, "Hey, something's wrong. Can you help us?" But the whole set
was
went
that how
on.
you were signaling?
I don't know.
Yeah,
like
if
the
that's how
sound
you were
guys
signaling,
going like,
that's how you were signaling.
signaling.
Some guy was thinking, yes, I'm on tonight, guys. Yes, fantastic. Yes. This fucking hot chick over here is winking at me all night long. Great.
Well, yeah. So they literally thought nothing was wrong because they're like, we just looked at Din and he looked like chilling. We thought he was doing all the sounds. We thought you all were fine. And so, yeah, that's how chill he is. Like,
unbelievably.
His whole thing is dead and he was just like dead calm. It's crazy.
What is Din's background? Is he what's his foundation? His field of study?
Okay. I mean, similar to me in that neither of us studied music. I did have some classical training in the piano when I was younger. But Din is like, pretty standard for like Singaporean Chinese girl, right?
For Chinese and Chinese everywhere. Everywhere.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. I have to report that I wasn't forced into it though. Like it was something I wanted to do in my teens. Like I wasn't like forced to do it as a child or anything. But yeah, so I just did a couple years of that. But Din has zero musical vocabulary, like the names of chords and scales and things. So it's really cool to see how he approaches music in this just very visceral,
almost like
human way.
Almost like
very
a
instinct-based.
Almost like a scientist. Then he's building things. Yeah, he's building.
He
things.
thinks in waves.
Yeah. He's definitely a sound engineer then, because I have no.
He's like a pilot, man. When I saw the weekend, he's like knobbing, is like ready to land. That's so calm.
But see, that's the reason why he gets so intricate into whatever software he's using, because he has to, because he doesn't have the formal musical training to know frequency or which notes and stuff like that there. So like he'll know which buttons work rather than which note will work and stuff like that. So yeah, I completely understand that direction of what he's doing. Like, but he does it so well.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah, I can barely understand what he does half the time.
I'm curious about the songwriting process though. So so all these guys were talking about their references, and like when I watch videos and all that, my reference is Radiohead. I mean, everybody knows Radiohead as a rock band, but if you look at Tom York and then you look at Johnny Greenwood's not just the guitarist for the band. He's also doing weird shit with his Moog and his synth and all those kind of things. And Tom York also, I mean, Radiohead has got a bunch of obscure songs on their records, and sometimes you just see them just tweaking shit. But then they still have a band. So sometimes, the songwriting process, I guess, is coming from everywhere. And you were saying you were also playing the uke and all those kind of things. So when it comes to electronic music, what's the songwriting process like? Are there songs where you write it on a uke, but eventually end up being a full-on electronic track,
Right. It's so cool that you say Radiohead, because though I don't think anyone's ever said that, but it's been a big part of my life. Like I've cried to their albums growing up, it's like just walking home from school and like crying.
I've been saying since 1993 that the song that I want when I'm being put into the ground, when I'm being buried in the ground, is Street Spirit, because I want everybody crying at my funeral, not celebrating. So I want Street Spirit. So I think it's a perfect funeral song, like. So,
right, just in case my death is not enough to inspire your tears.
Just in case they're celebrating a wee bit that I'm dead, I want Street Spirit fucking on the fucking thing. But But I'm old school Radiohead up and including OK Computer. I was a massive fan. After that, I started falling off the Radiohead bandwagon, because I just thought they went off way beyond.
Couldn't get into Kid A.
Some songs of Kid A, but I
want national anthem at my funeral.
I'm
And
like,
so,
I'll always be stuck between 1991 and 1996, and when it comes to the alternative rock. So like, I'm just one of those old like
Basically,
guys.
basically between when I was 2 and 7.
You can just tell my age. You can tell how old I am by my
Hey,
references.
not that old lah. I'm
just
1
had
year
to
younger
rub
than you.
it.
Look at me.
Just, thanks, Brendan. Just needed to rub that in, right? Just saying, right?
That's what this podcast is. Just breaking my balls for how old I am. That's all it is. Like,
Yeah.
But back to the
Right.
question.
Sorry. Yeah, no,
Sorry,
sorry. I
back-
got.
back-
After, so you guys close the studio. Like we can't work together. Go back to emailing or Dropbox or how? How do you? Yeah.
No, so it would just be us in studio in the same space, but like not talking. We're just like on our own, doing our own thing, and like just sending. And we just had a baseline rule, like if either of us makes something and either of us is not vibing, must faster say, like just say immediately and throw it away. Like don't so neither of us would like fight for our ideas or try to make it work, because like if the initial feeling didn't land for the other person, then don't force,
don't force it, because it doesn't work. And
Yeah.
then don't be passive aggressive about it, like, because that's not going to work either. Like,
yeah, so as long as one of us doesn't like it, it's in the trash. And so that way it just made it very easy for us to
that's
through
probably
crap.
especially when you're doing it the way you guys do, because like me and Brendan have got a similar sort of relationship with, even though we're not in a band, I mix the majority of his songs. So like he's like, it's always email back and forth, same way. Like, and if something's not right between either a mix or what he sent me, it's instant communication. Like, no, it's nonsense. Just do it again. Like,
Actually, it's
the only way it can work.
productive.
It's the only way, and it's really productive because we work really quickly that way. Because then I'll be sending maybe 2 mixes a day back to him, like, or he'll.
I did my whole album. My initial album was 10 songs, and because of the pandemic, so we were mixing. My friend Arif was mixing at home, and just I find it a lot more better than sitting and staring in front of the the thing and like, mix this, man, because you get it's to sink in, right? It's interesting.
Yeah.
It depends on how a person works, but it can work really as long as you trust the person you're working with, then it can work really well.
And Dean sounds like a real taskmaster, lah. I mean, there's no
Oh yeah.
there's no filter. It's quite direct. That's great.
Nope. yeah, no filter. But that's why it works, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good way of working, because it relies on trust and honesty, that way of working. But
have you ever gone into the trash and taken out anything and brought it back to the table?
Yeah. So, maybe not DOTGIF, it's my own thing.
Good question.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Maybe I feel like sometimes, and I think people with multiple bands or outfits can identify with this. It's like you bring it to one band and it's not working out, and then you kind of wait a little while, and then
I do that a lot.
Then kind of seed it into the other band and see how they'll take it. Like
you playing a prog band? You playing a prog band as well, then? Don't you? You mentioned that.
Yeah.
So it's a complete prog rock band.
Yeah, pretty much prog math-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Part 3, we're going to do prog math rock then. So that'll be a good conversation. Like,
cool.
Let's just.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll take a break now then and go back and are you okay? Wait, it's entirely up to you. Do you want to do part 3?
Oh sure, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll take
I didn't even realize time had passed.
Yeah, that's when we're about 5 minutes away from it going. Like, so like it's going pretty well. Like, so like part 3
we'll take a fiver.
5, and we'll go into some prog rock. Let's start talking about some nice
interesting
prog rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. See who we like. See who we all like. So 5 or 10 minutes, guys, and we just straight back in.
Cool.
Okay.
Even 5.
And we're back with part 3 of the DOTGIF.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did
podcast
it.
with Weish.
Nice
If
one.
we go back, we'll hear Derek say 3 different versions.
I can overdub myself later on if I want to, but that's just 80, some sort of 80 odd nonsense.
DOTGIF.
Faking.
With
faking.
DOTGIF.
DOTGIF, yeah. So, thank you for staying with us, Wish.
No, it's cool.
This random gibberish that we're coming out with.
Gibberish is great. Gibberish is life.
Gibberish
What
is
is
great.
life except gibberish?
Gibberish is great.
Yeah,
It is absolutely
that should
great.
be a
Yeah.
t-shirt.
People are. You know what Instagram is? Instagram are people trying to pretend life isn't gibberish.
Yeah.
That life is perfect. That's what
Yeah.
Instagram is like. Oh, look at my perfect life. No, life is gibberish.
Yeah, I was so enamored with the thought of the idea of the app when it first came out. I was like, if a baby is born in the other side of the world, I would know instantly and see this child. I was just like so enamored with the idea of like,
I actually thought
some random dude is having coffee in Sweden, I would know right now. Like,
I thought it'd be good for. I always thought it was the initial idea. I thought it would be good for like photography creatives where they're doing profiling their actual work, which somehow it still is, but it's just turned into now just a vacuous thing of people showing, look how perfect my life is, the perfect.
You guys have
perfect picture, and we're all on it, like, which is fucking so hypocritical. I understand my
No,
own hypocrisy.
I like
my own
photography, and I share photos. I don't show my dinner, my lunch, man. I know some people do that. Look, I'm drinking coffee.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you're talking about, Derek.
I do that kind of shit, man. If I've cooked a meal I'm proud of, I'm like, look, guys, I fucking made this shit.
There's a couple of people in this room who love sharing pictures of their own food for some fucking reason.
Hey.
Are you guys familiar with Bo Burnham?
Yeah.
If you guys haven't had the chance to catch his latest special on Netflix, it's called Inside.
I've seen the hype around it.
Oh my god, he's like the voice of our generation. I can't overstate it enough. I mean, some of his older stuff is kind of like some people feel like it's hit and miss, and some people feel like it's a little bit corny. But I've always felt that like it's always been very purposefully kind of chaotic and nonsensical, but in such a self-aware and like the best comedy is tragedy, right? And like oh my god. So I think I just think this piece is like, so I mean he just throws social commentary about whatever, about Instagram, about all kinds of nonsense, about mental health, and in this crazy self-aware masterpiece. I don't even know what kind of form it is. It's not a comedy special, it's not a film, it's just its own thing. It's insane. It's just like what can music form be, now that in this crazy state.
Sorry, what's his name again? Sorry,
Bo Burnham.
Bo Burnham.
Yeah.
What's his latest called again?
It's called Inside. It's called Inside.
Okay, check it out.
I think he did this all throughout the pandemic, right? I think it was just in one room
for a year.
It seemed like it seems, from what I saw, just seems very DIY, and what the rave that has been going around that I've heard is the content and how it was executed. So I have yet to check it out.
Well, all good comedy is just the content,
And,
but it's his content that comments on itself constantly, and it just draws you into this despair. It's hilarious.
It's like a feedback.
Absolutely, it's its own thing. It's crazy, and it really captures, I think, like the zeitgeist of the times now.
I think the only other person I've seen who captured the pandemic era perfectly was Andrew Schultz. If anybody has seen the Andrew Schultz stuff.
No, but I will.
Check out Andrew Schultz. During the initial pandemic, he was doing these small 5-minute clips on YouTube, and it just was amazing. And he just captured the zeitgeist of the whole pandemic era perfectly. And Schultz is brilliant. I mean, like
Insights on Netflix as well.
It is. He's really, really good.
Derek, is the Andrew Schultz?
Andrew Schultz is on Netflix as well, but he's got a bigger special on Netflix. But the small pandemic clips are on YouTube. But his best things, the best ones that I've seen him do, where he just goes up and where he does what he calls the read the room comedy, where he just goes on stage with nothing no set list, nothing to say, and just starts talking to the audience and just kills the room just by just reading the room and just talking. And he's amazing. He's got a podcast. He's got a podcast with Charlemagne the God. If you know who Charlemagne the God is, he's got a podcast with him called The Brilliant Idiots, and then he's got another podcast. But Schultz is pretty good. But like, my favorite couple of comedians at the minute, I think it's hard to touch Bill Burr at the moment, in my opinion. I think Burr is still probably the best going at the minute. But I'll check out your guy. Sounds good. Sounds
sweet. Good. Yeah, I'll check this guy out. Looks good too. Sounds right up my alley too.
So prog rock.
Yeah, sure.
Rock. What's the name of your prog rock band?
Sub Shaman.
Shaman.
Yeah, Shaman.
How do you spell that?
Shaman.
What? Shaman?
Like sub as in submarine, and shaman as in shaman. But we decided to say shaman. So it's my curse in life to have bands with names whose pronunciations are always contentious.
That's a talent. That's not a curse. It's a talent.
Yeah.
It's even my name.
No, it's intentional, even though you deny it.
I don't know,
sure, yeah, like my own name, right? I've been introduced on stage for a solo show as Welsh. I'm not Welsh. I'm really not Welsh.
Derek's Welsh.
No,
there you go.
My ancestors are Welsh. Well, one set of my ancestors are Welsh, but we're talking about like 1,000 years ago. Like, so I'm very, 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 very Irish.
Yeah.
So
how did it come about? How did it come about? Yeah.
Same old story. The smoking corner.
What a place.
And what a place. Yeah. And I was starstruck-ish. Oh my God, I hope he doesn't see this. But like, to me, a really, really important person in our little scene is this fella named Isa Ong. And he's got his own solo project now called Claude Glass, and he's been in bands like Amateur Takes Control, Pleasantry, a whole lot of others that I can never keep up, and mine, Sam Shaman, and he really forms the backbone of a lot of them, like the driving creative force, and how he writes has always been kind of its own thing, and so. Yeah, so I had known of his work and then met him, and then he was just this chill dude, and we eventually had a band together, and just same thing lah, just jam for fun, as all bands do, I guess, is everyone's origin story, and just kind of trying to make our own thing that was its own thing without worrying about genre or like structure.
Well, that was the question. My next question did you go into specifically to be a prog rock band, or was it just a natural formation that became a prog rock band?
Yeah, the latter.
Yeah, it's natural formation. So,
okay. I think it's what we all
You sing or you put your uke through like pedals.
I did that at some point when I had to play on my own and there was no other instrument I could play convincingly because I have very tiny hands.
So how many members are in the prog rock band?
How many members?
What does everybody play?
I sing and play a synth. Isa plays guitar, Hannes plays the bass, and Shadi plays the drums. Yeah.
4-piece band then.
So 4-piece prog rock band. Cool.
Yeah.
And for the prog rock, sorry.
Sorry?
Influences.
Are you all asking the same question?
Right.
I think Fabian's my delay track. I'm asking it, and then Fabian delay, and then he asks it just literally a second later. Like,
it's so funny. This is
You're giving a harmony question.
You're just like a canon.
Yeah.
Your own choir. I think everyone came in with really different sort of palette of what they were listening to, and that's what made it so interesting and fun. Like our bassist Hannes listens to a lot of psychedelic rock and like sort of surfy, Tame Impala-esque, a lot of funk. And Isa at the time is ever evolving. Isa, I think at the time was listening to a lot of Japanese math rock and like a lot of experimental stuff. Both electronic and by way of like heavier music.
Who's the Tool fan? There has to be a Tool fan. There ain't no prog rock band.
Oh yeah,
There has to be a Tool fan.
I think all of them are. Yeah, I think all of them are.
That's it. Including myself. I love Tool. But it has, once you hear about a modern prog rock band, Tool has
Tool
to
is
be.
Exactly, like Tool is amazing. Obviously, when we were kids, like Mars Volta and Toei, even Tricot or Trico, I don't know, that Japanese band. Yeah, just all of these sort of different things coming together, and then me coming in like, okay, how the fuck do I sing over this 5-4-7-4-9-4, don't know what thing, 13, what, like, where does the voice sit?
Which is quite hard
because
it's kind of these days with prog metal and prog rock and math rock is generally they avoid the singer by just being instrumental bands. Like you've got bands like here, like Deragayu and stuff like that, there who just completely like who are amazing, but they avoid having a singer. So it must be difficult for you trying to layer, because your voice is your instrument, to layer that on top of like multiple time signatures and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was hard. I was just sort of looking at Omar Rodriguez Lopez group and how they work with different singers and trying to, like,
Have you seen them
live? Find a way to. Oh my God, a dream! Like I would love to. Day before I die.
I seen At the Drive-In live in Ireland 2000, just after race. My friend's band supported them. But way back in the fucking day, like with At the Drive-In, fantastic band.
Crazy. And like just watching like the Anthony Parks on the drums and on that whole series that I've rewatched so many times on YouTube. It's crazy. Or like if you're familiar with Toei, the Japanese band.
Don't know.
Yeah, just interesting ways.
Yeah, they played at Lifehack, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And or like just the different ways in which vocalists approach singing over very, very complicated music. It was helpful for me. Yeah.
Your looper takes a break probably with this band, right? Do you still use your looper or?
Yeah, I was just, oh man, what's going on? I was just gonna ask the same question.
Your one brain.
Serendipity.
Oh man.
The hive mind has finally clicked into the matrix.
Do you loop over your prog?
Pretty much not at all, because it's impossible to get anything in time. But textures, yes.
You would literally need to map out everything to a MIDI time code. Your delays.
We never play with click.
Yeah, your delays and stuff like that will all need to be mapped out, because you start off your delay in 4/4 and they go into fucking 7/8.
Yeah.
You're lost. It's done.
It's
done.
It's too much. It's too much. And
too much math.
Click. Yeah, it's too much math.
For a math rock band, it's too much math.
Yeah, it's like we've already done too much math. It's like we're done with the math. Give us a break.
You gotta be a different level looping artist if you're going to be able to,
Yeah, but it's also very hard to retain some soul of a bigger band with click. I feel like it's always kind of hard to feeling and
no, I know. Like, it depends.
With a click track. Yeah.
It depends.
A little bit harder is how I felt.
Sort of depends what you mean. I always prefer a natural feel to a live band, because you want the music to speed up and slow down when it needs to speed up and slow down. But like, there's certain music that it will never work, and you need to click.
Yeah.
You
for sure.
definitely need to click.
Yeah.
Unless everybody's just absolutely in sync with every second
that doesn't happen.
What needs to be performed.
There's no such thing. No. Even the best jazz musicians ever back in the day sped up and slowed down as they went, because it's just natural. Like Miles Davis's band sped up and slowed down because the music was making them speed up and slow down, because they were getting into it more. So it's a natural inclination to speed up as you're enjoying it more, and slow down. The click.
Yeah.
The click is.
Wait, so what is the what is the process like with the prog rock band, and how much time do you spend juggling between DOTGIF and Subshaman?
Okay, so first question, that one really can happen a lot more organically because we're all friends lah. So like you just kind of lepak, drink tea, standard things, and then feel like jamming, go jam. And I guess none of us ever had expectations of it, like, oh, we need to churn out this and like, you know. So it's always been kind of chill and free enough to get into a studio and like just jam lah. Like someone will start a riff, then I'm sure y'all know, and just, you know, you just keep jumping on, layering, and speak out about what you don't like or where you think the next part of the song will go and try and work it out together. And these guys would just be like, how about this part? We cut at the 2, we cut back at the 5, and then we go to the, you know, and I'm like, no, I can't do it. But it's fun, right? Everyone's just trying to like make our lives harder and kind of fuck shit up, but also make sure it's not, I think deciding where to draw the line between like a song being difficult and, can I say, wanky for the sake of being wanky and complex?
You absolutely can say wanky for the sake of being wanky, because I know exactly what that means.
Yeah, you know, and you know how much it detracts from it being coherent or it having like a sort of honest and natural narrative or flow, and kind of negotiating those things in person is a really fun. That's our process.
Well, that seems to be good. That's all about the trust within the group as well. Like you seem to trust the guys. Everybody seems to trust each other and respect each other's own abilities and position within the group, like, which is good. Seems like a natural evolution within a band.
There's always an anxiety, right? I don't know if you guys feel this when you jam, but like sometimes you feel like other people have a more mature or wide palette of influences that goes through the processor before it comes out on their fingers, right? And then you're like, okay, I might jump in with a riff here, but there's always that fear, like, is it kental? Like, is it like, is it gonna come out like a cringe? Or like, is my own personal palette of sounds like in keeping with how educated this group is? And I think
the reason you're in the band, I think the reason you're with it, you're in that band, has already answered that question. I think they're
sorry.
I think
right.
You're in that band with those guys for a reason, like, so they already have respected your palette for you to be in the band with them, like, so like. Yeah.
To you might be cringeworthy, but to them it's like, hey, that's pretty cool.
Exactly,
you never know.
Exactly.
Bring it out.
No, it's cool. Yeah, and we got over that with time, and we would literally just like call each other like, hey, don't la that macam sounds like this nonsense, like let's not, and you realize it's not a big deal even if it doesn't fly, right?
Good.
Yeah.
True.
That's good.
True.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's a whole different process.
You need that. Yeah, it's good to have that balance. 2 different projects, and you know, you can lepas steam lah in different ways.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And back when we were very busy, it was tough lah, you know, like, hey, who you prioritize, or if we both get a gig on the same day, like, who you gonna choose, you know. Sometimes when our schedules were a little bit more overlapping, it got quite difficult for me to like, okay, you get this one, and then we just, you know, which one means more to you lah, okay, and like compromise.
That was soft skills, that's true.
Difficult, yeah.
That's where your English let come into play then.
Always handle that very well.
He's gonna massage those egos with some English lit.
No, it's all good. Everyone's chill.
And how old is the band? Like, how long has Subshipment been around?
Yes, Subshipment.
We had some very active years, and we had some years where like everyone started working, or someone has a kid, or like, you know, so it's been up and down in terms of activity, but I think we germinated in like 2014 with our first EP.
And when did DOTGIF begin?
Just about a year before.
Okay, so
like
so pretty similar.
Around the same time.
Wow.
It was just a time when we were all young and we all felt like we could do anything and we had infinite energy to do a lot of projects. And
Don't say young in front of
Yeah,
me.
like me and Osmo get triggered by saying 2014.
Hey, I'm young, man.
You were
You're
young
old,
in
man.
2014. Like, it's very triggering. It's very triggering for us to say 2014 is young.
Hey, no, I ain't triggered at all. I ain't triggered at all, man.
I fucking moved to Malaysia in 2014. That's not young for me. That's like going, what the fuck's going on?
That's special, man. Like it's special. Like I'm yeah. I won't talk about age, but I feel like those years died for me real quick.
Oh,
Just
magic
that,
lah,
that amount of energy I used to have for like, hey, let's make DIY show. Hey, let's invite bands from Indonesia and Malaysia come and play our nonsense basement show. Hey, go do. Like, do we have money? Do we have resources? No, but let's just do. Like,
Go only.
go je, you know, like
I did the exact same thing in Ireland in fucking in the early to mid 2000s. In my small town, only about 20,000 people, small town, I just started running gigs. Like we had
Just do it, man.
Like we had bands like Two Door Cinema Club when they were 17 years old.
What?
Yeah, before.
What?
But they're from Northern Ireland, like. But so we had them when they were actual kids, like, and like we had bands from the UK and stuff like that playing. With Frank Turner, we had Frank Turner playing in front of 30 people twice, like way back in the day, like. So like with no money, no nothing, just an idea. Let's just run gigs, sort of fucking. But that's when you're younger and you're more eager. Now I've tried to do that now. I'm like, oh no, we need this, we need that, we need the other. It's never going to work.
No, you still can. You still can do, man.
Yeah,
You
Smil knows.
Yeah, man.
Keep the fire burning. Let's go.
Keep the fire burning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't call bomber.
Yeah.
Keep the fire burning.
I don't have a fire.
Yeah,
I don't have a fire.
yeah,
I've got a cinder in the corner, fucking sort of smoldering.
There you go. You got fire. Yeah. Cinder. When is it gonna become a fire? We just cinder.
Yeah. Boom.
Just fan.
Just
Can
fan it.
Fucking but
Yeah.
What? Remember that show, What to Do in Case of Fire, man.
there was there was a really good Irish band called In Case of Fire. Like it's a fantastic fucking metal band, like called In Case of Fire. Like it's just, you should check them.
There's a cool Malaysia underground band called Pintu Yang Tangan Api. Fire door. I think one of the cool band names too. Since you got the fire reference there, Pintu Yang Tangan Api. Yeah.
We should all have played in Rumah Api.
Yes, exactly.
I've been to Rumapi. I never played there.
Play several times there. There'll be cockroaches coming out of amps, man. I love that.
When I walked in there,
Frozen?
the first thing I did when I walked in Rumapi
Frozen.
was try to fucking sort out their sound. I walked in, heard how terrible it was. I went, where's the soundboard at? And the guy goes, it's over there. I go, do you mind? He goes, no, I'll work away. There was 2 soundboards and they're both terrible. I was trying to fucking sort this shit out. It was so bad. Like,
Good on you.
I can't help myself.
Happy, man.
I respect everything they try to do in Rumapi because it is pure underground fucking punk.
Shout out to Ruma Api.
Yeah, shout out to Rumapi.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like, walking into a venue knowing that you've got good sound people takes so much stress off any show.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
essential. And as a sound engineer, it's when I worked in No Black Tie for a couple of years, like, and for me, it was always essential to be there an hour before the band arrived, so that the stage was ready to go. Because in No Black Tie, wasn't just a sound check; they were rehearsing because the majority of the bands had just met that day because of the whole jazz scene. They were all sort of getting hooked up that day, like so they would have to have a 2-hour rehearsal. We just met, so I ensured that the stage was. Everything was set and tuned and monitor mixes all ready, so they could just go work away.
Oh, that's the shit. That's
So
the best.
so then it was just micro dialing stuff, and you just need somebody to tweak something and stuff like that. Then that's what that was about. Like but
Actually, in music school, the number one thing they should teach is these young budding musicians get to know your sound, man.
Yeah.
Go there, they think like,
100%.
Not to get to know your sound, man. Get to know your sound and what you want, So you can tell the
No.
sound man, and then hope the sound man can recreate what you need, but
No,
always know
because
your sound.
it's too much. It's too much to ask them to get to know sound. They should know, at least
Their
understand
sound.
that sound man is there to make you, at least familiar, right?
At least on the basic, because I'm just
Yeah.
going to say this, like when you, Derek, like I've known you a while, and you're the most hands-on sound engineer at a live event that I've been at with
And
anybody.
also great emergency sound man.
And I haven't played many shows, but the shows I've played, there's a reason I keep calling you and hiring you. It's because there's attention to detail, not just behind the board, but on the stage, comfort on the stage, comfort with sound on the stage, not just with a solo, but it could be a 10-piece band, whatever. And I've had my experience with other engineers as well. Not everybody is they try to be as on the ball as they can be, but man, very few are up to your level.
But I've played in a band for years, so like I know what it's like to be on a stage and having shit sound. Like, so it's essential for me to be on the like I can't know, especially when you're doing what we do, club mixing. You're doing both. You're doing front of house and monitors. You have to get on the stage. You have to listen when the band's playing. What are they hearing? Because you can't just mix it thinking, oh, well, I can hear everything. Fantastic.
That's what a lot of them do.
That's
they
what a lot
behind
of
the
them do.
board. I mean, that's here.
So you have to walk on the stage, have a listen.
Not just there.
Okay. So,
but I remember playing Bay Beats once, and I was blown away that, wow, each of the band member had his own sound man. Like I'm going there, like, oh, my bassist, I got one guy too. Wow, it's like, it's like that's
really?
Singapore lah. That's Singapore style, right? Yeah,
That's
like,
you had your own crew lah. Your own
crew lah. But coming from KL, like, it's always like, I play an underground, right? It's like you make things up along the way. It's like, wow, refreshing. It's like, wow. Then you start.
You wouldn't have gotten
That's just Esplanade lah. They beats like they juggle. Not always.
Betul.
Okay, Wish, we have come to the end of this fantastic podcast.
Thanks for having me. Good. It feels like no time has passed.
It's been pretty smooth.
All right, let's do 3 more rounds then.
Yeah, let's keep going.
6 rounds, let's go. It's all day.
So, you, as per usual, at the end of our podcast, we always give the last minute over to the guest. They let us know what you've got coming up. So, like, the last minute's over to you, Les.
Yeah.
Shout out your website, shout out your thing going on, shout out what you've got coming on.
Okay, cool. Well, DOTGIF released an album last year, but because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to launch it. So now we're working on launch production of it because, we can't have a real audience. So we're going to try do a legit filmed live version that's not a stream but like a proper thing, so that's gonna come up in the next few months, I think.
What's the name of the album?
Hail Nothing.
Cool.
Hail Nothing.
Yeah, it's like harder than the stuff you might have known from previous albums. It's kind of like dancing into the void, kind of vibe. South Shaman is still chilling out, and we hopefully get together to jam soon. But we do have all our stuff up online at southshaman.com, and you can find DOTGIF at, I think it's .gif.gif.com, which is DOTGIF.
It is .gif.gif.com.
I think.
I've got it set up on my Google right now. So it is that.
Cool, sweet. Thank you. Mostly now I'm just working on my own solo stuff. So hopefully some of that might come out into the wild at some point.
You're going to be releasing some of that, like, good. Excellent. Nice. Well, Wish, thank you so much for being a part of a really, really, really good podcast for all of us.
Thanks for having me. This was so chill, and so you guys are the best kind of chaos. This has been really fun.
That's exactly.
I love chaos.
That's exactly what we want. Just pure chaos. So, DOTGIF podcast over and out. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Yes.
me.